so in love with you.
Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers, you guys, because we are finally starting to see signs that the housing market is starting to slow down and transitioning into a buyer's market. Now, certain markets have been absolutely devastated by the surge of interest rates and are already plummeting when it comes to house value. Now, the sad thing is this has not hit every city across the nation, but some cities are already getting absolutely destroyed. And this, you guys, is a sign of things to come and a sign that the Federal Reserve is actually doing things that are working, because everyone knows we need to get out of this very toxic seller's market and at the very least back into a market that's more stable and more predictable. Now, today we're going to deep dive into an article by Realtor.com titled "Home Prices Have Begun Falling. Here are the cities where they're down the most." You guys, this is very, very exciting for me because, as you know, I have adjusted my life and my family to sit out of the housing market. As you guys know, I already own real estate, but I sacrificed purchasing a new primary residence and decided to rent to sit out of the housing market. I'm deathly afraid that basically something's going to happen that always happens, which is a housing market correction that essentially is going to lead into a housing market bubble crash or bubble pop, or however you want to look at it. But I see some very dark times ahead as far as the housing market, and I believe we're going to transition very quickly and very violently into a buyer's market once again, as we always do. Now, as you guys know, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm an opinion sharer, but I am a realtor in Houston and a loan officer in Texas. And if you guys can, please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And as always, comment on the video. I always appreciate your guys' comments. Now, we're going to get started on this article right now. Now, as you guys know, this article is going to be in my description. Every article that I talk about is in my description below. So go ahead and access that, you guys, and find out for yourself and monitor and track this data. But here's what the article says. The spring housing market got off to a strong start, but rising mortgage interest rates top 5%. Plus, high inflation and soaring rents appear to be starting to temper high prices in certain housing markets. To be clear, overall affordability remains a challenge. Many would-be buyers are being priced out of home ownership as higher mortgage rates mean more expensive monthly housing payments. But when there are fewer buyers competing for homes and bidding them up, prices typically go down. Realtor.com found that metropolitan areas where home prices are doing what recently seemed unthinkable. They're falling. Some of these dips are because prices grew too out of whack with the locals and many Rust Belt communities could afford. So prices had to come down a little to find buyers. In other cases, it's not that the same houses cost less. Rather, the lower prices are due to fewer, larger homes, which generally fetch higher prices going up for sale. It goes on. Many of the metro areas seeing median list price declines have seen an influx of smaller homes come to the market, which carry lower price tags. At the same time, several of the cities have unemployment rates which, while still historically low, are above the national level. This indicates that buyers may face steeper affordability challenges from rising mortgage rates. You guys, here's the thing. These measures that the Federal Reserve has taken is already hitting some metro areas and some cities super duper hard, especially if the unemployment rate is higher than the national average. I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to comment below and tell me whether or not you think that all of the cool down and all of the unraveling in the housing market is coming much faster than you guys thought or than you guys realized. So comment below and tell me if you think that everything is happening much faster than you originally thought. Now let's continue with this article. Okay, guys, so here's a map. Okay, so here's a map of where home prices are falling the most. Now look at this. This is very interesting. A lot of stuff out in the Northeast right here. So all of these indicators are of cities with the largest falling of median listing price. Isn't that astonishing? And here's what I'm bummed about. Nothing in Texas yet and nothing in Florida yet. But look at these cities right here. Okay, so we're going to dig in to each one of these cities real quick, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how much the median listing price has declined in each of those cities that you just saw. And I think you guys are going to be blown away with how much home prices have already dropped in some cities. Check this out. Okay, guys, here's city number 1, Toledo, Ohio. Median listing price, super low, 115. But look at this. Median listing price change, negative 18.7%. Are you serious? Negative 18.7%. That means, you guys, everyone that have fear of missing out and that was super emotional in that area that just bought and just bid over asking price, guess what? Homes are now listed for 18% less than they were. Fathom that for a second here. So all of those people that cannot possibly fathom a housing market crash or can't fathom real estate going down or keep telling people that you have to buy right now because if you don't buy right now, you're going to miss out on the opportunity to afford home ownership are wrong. You guys are wrong. It is what it is. Be careful who you listen to. Follow the data and follow the last 100 years of history. Whoever's saying these things, you guys, normally they have a financial interest in real estate or they're just uneducated on how real estate works. Let's continue on with the list. Okay, so number 2, y'all, is Rochester, New York. Now look at this. Rochester, New York, median listing price super low, $149,900, but the median listing price has declined to negative 17%. That is huge. Here's Detroit. Detroit, negative 15.4%. Massive. Now, all we're seeing is low listing prices so far. So at first I was like, is that a common thing? Is it low listing prices the reason why? But take a look. We're going to go higher listing prices, median listing prices. Pittsburgh, negative 13.7%. You guys, I repeat, negative 13.7% in Pittsburgh. Let's keep going down. Springfield, MA, median listing price $239,900. Median listing price change, negative 5.8%. I repeat, negative 5.8%. So how can some of you say you better buy now before home prices keep going up? How can you say that? Because now we have data. You can no longer say that. If you're saying that to people, you need to be careful what you're saying because now we have official data that you are wrong. Essentially, what I'm saying is prepare for it, right? I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but what I am doing is say prepare for it. If I'm right, we need to prepare. If we don't, institutional investors are just going to come in when the market flips and scoop up all the houses. So you better prepare. Let's continue. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Look at this. Negative 5%, you guys. Let's keep going. Los Angeles, holy smokes, median listing price, $985,000. Holy smokes, Los Angeles is so expensive. A median listing price change of 5%, which means, do y'all know what 5% is of that? That's $50,000. So the median listing price in Los Angeles has already gone down $50,000. Let's keep going. Memphis, Tennessee, we have negative 4.6%. Chicago, negative 3.7%. It also has a high median listing price of $399. Richmond, VA, we have negative 3.4% with a median listing price of $310. You guys, that's essentially the article. And I don't know about you, I feel very, very good about this data coming out because, again, you guys, I've uprooted my family, my children, my wife, and I am preparing for a cool down leading into a crash. So all of these signs that are happening so quickly is music to my heart, right? Because again, you guys, I know that I don't have a crystal ball. I could be wrong about the things that I'm saying, but I am at least putting my money where my mouth is. So I'm actually very interested when people don't agree with me. I consider what they're saying because I don't want to be wrong. And if I think that I'm wrong, I'm going to immediately tell you guys, and I'm going to immediately change my opinion and immediately adjust my life. But the thing is, you guys, I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure not only are we going to have that cool down, it will lead to a crash in a lot of areas, not in all areas. Now, I want to end this video with concluding on some opinions and points that I have. Now, my first opinion I want to give you guys is we are already noticing a remarkable change in some metro areas. And also it's important to note that not all areas are going to have that type of drastic change, and not all areas are going to change as far as a transition from a seller's to a buyer's market It's not all going to change at the same time. So it's really important that you guys are actually listening to what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is the change and transition hasn't started drastically in every area yet. Now, another opinion, you guys, we now have data, right? We now have data. No, not just opinions, not just guesses. We now have data that is showing the housing market is losing steam, is slowing down, and potentially heading into a crash. We already see negative equity growth as far as median listing price. Think about that. We have official data now. So anyone saying otherwise, throw the data at them. The article's in my description below. Now, another opinion, you guys, I want to emphasize this. I'm saying that the slowdown will lead to a crash of 15 to 20% in loss of equity in many, many areas. That slowdown is going to transition to the crash because of overwhelming equity growth that breaks fundamentals the last year over year over year. Now, here's another opinion I have, you guys. The high migration areas like Texas and like Florida, we're going to lag behind the rest of the nation as far as waiting for that transition. But still be patient, right? Still, look across the nation, look at other metro areas and other cities that are in high demand and watch them start unraveling and expect them to come to your location if you are in one of those high migration areas. Like I'm in a super high migration area, probably the top 5 in the entire nation, which is Houston, Texas. Another opinion, you guys, Q3 of this year, I'm saying the writing is going to be so clear, the writing on the wall is going to be so clear that people will no longer be able to refute the fact that we are in a transition into a buyer's market and that the housing market is unraveling. I'm saying by Q3, all of the signs and all of the things that we've been talking about are going to start coming to fruition, and it will be super duper clear. And you guys, here's my last opinion before I close out this video. Stop listening to people that are giving you bad advice and bad opinions. The professionals that are saying to buy right now and that if you wait to buy right now, rates are going to only go up and affordability is only going to go higher. Stop listening to those people, right? Unless they have data, right? If they have an overwhelming amount of data and they're explaining their points, maybe listening to them. But most people that say this say it based on emotion and false hope, right? And unfortunately, a lot of professionals say that. So what I'm saying is from this point forward, stop listening to people that are giving you bad advice because now we have the data. All right, you guys, that's going to conclude this video. I always appreciate you guys following along with me in this journey. I plan on purchasing a house and showing you guys how I'm purchasing houses. But right now I'm sitting out. But as always, you guys, please comment. I really appreciate you guys. I just had a subscriber send me an article today that I find very interesting. So send me some articles, email them to me if you find any. But as always, you guys, if you're out there investing in real estate, I wish you luck and I hope you win.